I was stunned to discover that the High Sheriff of DeKalb County has absolute authority to do what they think is proper or improper. You have food service contracts, you have security contracts, you have fleet contracts. These contracts are worth millions and millions of dollars.
Sidney Dorsey was a man with power, and he definitely used the power to his benefit. And he felt like he was on top of the world. He could do what he wanted to do.
Bonding company works out of a jail at the approval of the sheriff, and Shirley McMichael owned a bonding company.
She testified later that the only way she was able to get that license was to have sex with the sheriff anytime he wanted to have sex.
Shirley McMichael described how Sidney Dorsey would come over to her house to have sex with her. He would take his gun and lay it on the coffee table there. She said she was intimidated by him. Sidney Dorsey was making her give him thousands of dollars to keep her bonding company inside his jail, and he was extorting money from her.
There was not going to be a paper trail of the money. In fact, one time, Ms. McMichael wrote him a check. He tore the check up and ate it and said, "I only take cash."
The things he was making her do and the money he was making her pay him, to me, that was shocking. She was scared. She was afraid of Sidney Dorsey. Matter of fact, one night she came home and her door was open. And she called me, and we went and cleared her house for her, make sure no one was there before she went in. To treat a person like he was treating Shirley McMichael, that was shocking.
I knew this investigation had just taken a 90-degree turn.
My phone would not stop ringing with stories about the corruption in the sheriff's department. The floodgates opened. One lady alleged that she was not being promoted in the sheriff's department because she refused to have sex with the sheriff. There were stories that Sidney Dorsey was handing out sheriff's deputies badges like candy. There was nothing that he would stop at. I believe the public face of Sidney Dorsey was family man, churchgoer, law enforcement authority, and that the private Sidney Dorsey was womanizer, miscreant, and abuser. My immediate reaction was, wow, Sid Dorsey is as out of control as his personality seems to allow him to be.
For him to become sheriff of a big county like DeKalb, he had to have been popular. And a lot of times, political candidates will align themselves with big churches in the area, and that the minister of those congregations will encourage their congregation to vote for certain candidates.
Sidney Dorsey built his base of power in African-American churches throughout DeKalb County. A lot of the leadership of those churches were women. And so the thought of Sidney Dorsey using his power as sheriff to force women to have sex with him was unthinkable to a lot of those people. Without a doubt, Sidney Dorsey was running the DeKalb County Sheriff's Department as his own personal kingdom.